Over the course of the last 12 months, numerous events shaped Chicago, many within the city, but some from the outside. Events that were tragic, some that were uplifting, but in the end, transformational. Here's a look back at some of the pivotal moments of 2022. If 2021 was the year to start the exit from COVID, 2022 was the year of realization that in one way or another, it would always be with us. Something to manage, something to build from. Chicago began January with fatigued optimism.
I know that this is disruptive to their education.
But the Chicago Teachers Union went on the picket line out of concerns about COVID, affecting some 340,000 students. It lasted 5 days.
I miss my girl, Betty.
Mid-month, Oak Park celebrated one of its own with Betty White Day, 2 weeks after her sad and surprising death on New Year's Eve at the age of 99. Another fresh start with a new year. The Bears hire a new general manager, Ryan Poles, and head coach, Matt Eberflus. On February 3rd, despite a protest with calls for federal charges, Jason Van Dyke left incarceration after less than 4 years for killing teen Laquan McDonald in 2014.
Today's a great day to show your smile.
Later in the month, Governor Pritzker lifted mask mandates and other COVID restrictions. Then, on February 24th, a global conflict hit home for Chicago's Ukrainian community after Russian forces invaded. Save Ukraine! Chicago came together rallying and praising Ukraine and its heroic president who inspired the world.
Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this.
Courtroom drama in March as Chicago actor Jussie Smollett was sentenced for staging what he described as a hate crime. The Empire actor stuck to his story and was sentenced to 150 days, but then released during his appeal.
I am not suicidal! This type of criminal conduct drastically undermines the public's confidence in our government.
And federal charges came down for former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, accused in a racketeering conspiracy during his decades in Illinois politics. St. Patrick's Day made a triumphant return. The city once again got to enjoy the spectacle of the Southside Irish Parade for the first time since the pandemic.
It's just hard to believe. I just stepped out from Lenten service.
In April, cries of despair echoed throughout the Englewood neighborhood where the historic Antioch Missionary Baptist Church caught fire, unable to be salvaged.
Bulls are surging, looking for more. It's Kobe White!
It's Kobe White time!
The Bulls made the playoffs for the first time in 5 seasons, but lost to the Bucks in 5 games. And then another loss for the city.
Enjoy.
Dinkle's Bakery ends its 101-year run on the city's north side. To start the month of May, one ending and one beginning. Boeing announces it's leaving Chicago, and the city chooses Bally's for a new casino going up in River West. The next month sent a shockwave through America. The U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, sparking rebuke from politicians across the state as clinics here prepared for an influx of out-of-state patients. The ruling became a key factor throughout the month for Illinois' primary election.
Thanks be to God, we did it!
At the top of the ticket on June 28th, Republican State Senator Darren Bailey upset early favorite Richard Irvin to set up a contentious race with Governor J.B. Pritzker.
People are screaming and falling, and it's just absolutely horrible.
July saw the horror of a mass shooting right at home.
You know, I just started seeing other people get shot and fall.
The patriotism and family fun of a 4th of July parade in Highland Park shattered when a gunman on a roof took random aim at spectators below. 7 people lie dead, dozens more wounded.
Enough is enough!
The attack served as a rally moment, compelling survivors and others, including families of Uvalde victims, to push for national gun legislation. In August, R. Kelly's Chicago trial got underway, and the next month a federal jury found him guilty of child pornography and other sex crimes.
My frustration comes from the actions of the governor of Texas.
On the last day of the month, a bus full of migrants shipped here by Texas Governor Greg Abbott arrives at Union Station. Nearly 4,000 more would follow. As football season kicked off, the Bears unveiled a piece of its future, showing the public its plans for a new stadium in Arlington Heights.
Illinois on January 1, 2023 will make history, civil rights history.
There are some really crazy things still in this bill.
The work to undo or overhaul the controversial Safety Act at the State House began with the first lawsuits filed to change the legislation. In the first week of October, the trial for the suspect in the Waukesha parade tragedy began, with wildly erratic behavior from the defendant.
Me bringing up about the jury nullification.
Disregarding this court.
Frustrating the judge, he was found guilty on all counts.
That's when a gunfire just erupted.
Then, the night of Halloween, 14 people were shot at a holiday gathering in Garfield Park. One fatality reported, along with 3 children injured.
To the people of Illinois, thank you for placing your trust in me.
Election night kept Governor Pritzker in Springfield for another term as Democrats cemented their leadership statewide. While Chicago mayoral candidates kept their eyes on the next election, officially submitting their petitions to run. Notably absent in the city council races, Chicago's longest-serving alderman Ed Burke unceremoniously retiring amid a federal indictment.
The person whose birthday it was is one of the victims now fighting for her life.
A December birthday party became the scene of tragedy when police say a Chicago man killed 3 people execution-style during a fight and severely injured a 4th. December also marked the end of the January 6th hearings. Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger and the rest of the panel ultimately recommending criminal charges for former President Donald Trump. And as the year drew to an end, so too did a notorious construction project. The Jane Byrne Interchange was finally done after 9 years, way behind schedule and severely over budget. As Chicago looks to a new year, still grappling with inflation and fears about public safety, it's with a sense of hope for stability that 2023 is the comeback from the bounce-back year. And 2022 also ends on a challenging note through the holiday season, with Southwest travelers still trying to get home after Christmas and get their luggage. Look for these notable events in the new year: a mayoral election, a possible Trump reckoning, and a NASCAR race through the streets of downtown.
A lot that we have to look forward to.
Yeah,
a lot
so
happens in a year, yeah.
That started here in 2022, unresolved, into 2023.
Okay.